in the world will be under the brightest lights in sport, but before they take to the Olympic stage, they head to the relative tranquility of Bavaria, Inzell, Germany. That venue right there, the Max Eicher Arena, inside for day number 2 on stop number 5 on the ISU Speed Skating World Cup. Hi everybody, Gavin Day here, excited to guide you through the last 2 days of World Cup competition as we head into the Olympics. Night 1 saw plenty of action with some sprints, some 1500s, but today we changed things up just a little bit. There will be the women's and men's 1,000 meters. You see the schedule on your screen, and then we get to see the distance skaters for the 3,000 meters for women and the 500s for men. Final preparations just being done to the track, but another aerial look of this beautiful venue in this beautiful part of the world with some of the best speed skaters almost easing into the Olympics with the fan-friendly atmosphere in a small town. Just a couple thousand people live in Inzell. Plenty of Dutch supporters out in full force. This venue, once outdoors, a couple of decades ago, they decided to put it indoors, build the roof, build the full facility, and it's now a popular favorite spot for many skaters. A lot of skaters from around the world come and train here at various times during the season. And of course, with it being indoors now, no needs to worry about the conditions. Cloudy in Bavaria today, but beautiful weather under the roof, of course. We are just about ready to go in just under 5 minutes' time. Lots of bikes, obviously, for warm-ups. Isabel Weideman there, the Canadian, warming up with Valerie Malte. We will see them in the 3,000 meters. They, of course, will also be hot favorites to repeat as Olympic champions in the team pursuit. No team pursuit this weekend, though. Francesca Lollobrigida counting down her time. Hello. To a home Olympic Games. Davide Giotto there also warming up alongside her, the 2 distance specialists for Italy. These resurfacers are off the Max Eicher Arena. Final preps being made. The D division, of course, went this morning. All of these distances, and now it's time to skate for the medals. The conditions at the Max Eicher Arena. Ready for the first pair in just a few moments. And whenever we see official-looking people pointing and looking worried, it's something you have to wonder if maybe there's just some final last-minute ice preps to come. They're scheduled to go with the first pair in about a minute's time, but U.S. head coach Ryan Shimabukuro helping out a little bit there. A team effort to get things going. And let's just see here. Okay. Yeah. Actually a chunk of snow there left on the ice. Memories of, if you remember, Vancouver 2010. There was actually an ice resurfacer that broke down at the Richmond Olympic Oval. Wow, that was 15 years ago now. And they ended up having to bring in Calgary's machine to do the ice, and I expect to review ice resurfacing this morning. But you saw the reaction of the driver, and but we'll get going. It doesn't look like it's too serious an issue. Hopefully we can get going in just a few moments' time. See, they're happy. Just get yourself a snack, something to drink, and we'll all be ready to go. We do have to actually bring back the ice resurfacer, so I'm going to let this all unfold. Hopefully it's a quick fix, and then I'll rejoin in time for pair number 1. Okay, I think we're just about ready to go at the Max Eicher Arena in Inzell, Germany. 10 pairs in the women's 1,000 meters. Coming up, there is a look at Jutta Leerdam. How's that for a shot? Femke Kok, they go head-to-head in the final pair, the Dutch teammates. They were both on the podium yesterday in the 500 meters. And there is pair number 1, Iga Wojtaszek and Anna Ostlander, Poland and Germany respectively. Wojtaszek, her first race of the weekend, didn't do the 500 or the 15.
On the outer lane, representing Germany, from Inzell, Anna Ostlander. Go to the stop.
First pair underway in the women's 1,000 meters at the Max Eicher Arena in Inzell, Germany. Anna Ostlander starting on the outer lane. She was 5th in the B division yesterday in the 1,500. Wojtaszek there, she's usually in competition in the B division. Of course, we don't get that stream, so we don't see her a ton. She raced in 1,000 in Salt Lake City in weekend number 1. That was to start the season. But both of them now will set the times to beat, and it is Wojtaszek setting the faster opening couple hundred meters. Ostlander gets the inner lane now as they do the crossover side by side to complete the first full lap. They get the bell, and it's a matter of 0.09 of a second. But look at the lap time difference there. Ostlander 27.63, 28.2 for Wojtaszek. She will get the benefit of a bit of a draft, but that's a big gulf in time, and you can't win a pair in the first lap, the first full lap, but you can certainly lose it. And it is Anna Ostlander who will set the time to beat on her hometown ice, and she will go with a 1:15.68, 29.56 for last lap time, and Wojtaszek a 1:17.23. So a little over a second and a half separating them. Ostlander knowing the ins and outs of her home ice, uses that to her advantage to throw down the time to beat, albeit in the early running. Ice is going to be a huge topic of discussion as we head into those Italian games with a temporary facility. There's only been one test event. That was a Junior World Cup, and so, you know, we talk so much about ice, elevation, fast ice, slow ice, all of it. This is a bit of a mystery. Making it a bit more fun. Leah Sophie Schultz, another German skater in pair number 2, going up against Caitlin McGregor of Switzerland.
And on the outer lane, from Switzerland, is their national record holder, Caitlin McGregor. Go to the stop.
And McGregor, good story. About 11 years ago, walked away from the sport, hung up her skates, came back, and she has officially qualified for her first Olympic Games. And I'm sure a moment to savor for her and her family is Schultz, the native of Berlin, with a bit of a quicker opening, but those are both slower than the first pair. McGregor, often we see her in the mass start going in the A division. This is her first race of the weekend as well. Schultz raced the 1,500 meters yesterday in the B division, going in 4th. 1,500 meters, or the 1,000 meters rather, that interesting mix. It's a long sprint, but then you also see those who like to tackle the 1,500 meters, and so pairs we don't often see, skaters we don't often see going together, racing against each other, but it is McGregor out in front. Scholes finishing on the inner. That will bring it back out. And I think Scholes comes out of the corner, final few strides in the lead, and it will be the skater from Germany going second. 1:16.36. Very even lap time there. 29.60, 29.76. So it's close to 0.2 of a second, the difference there. They do not challenge the overall leader for the moment. And so it is still Auslander surviving one challenge. Mart Flederis on the same team, professionally, as Femke Koch there sitting together.
On the inner lane from Belgium, national record holder Isabel Van Elst.
Number 3, Isabel Van Elst, Belgium, going up against Natalia Czerwonka of Poland.
And on the outer lane from Poland, please welcome Natalia Czerwonka. Go to the start.
False start there. Go to Czerwonka. They do get away cleanly. Pair number 3 in the women's 1,000 meters. The Dutch-born Isabel Van Elst going up against Natalia Czerwonka. It is Van Elst with the lead through 200 meters. Van Elst 15th in the A division yesterday in the 1500. Czerwonka going in 18th. Also in the A division, Czerwonka. Might this be her last Olympics? A silver medalist in the team pursuit from 2014. At 37 years of age, one of those skaters who might be looking to hang things up in the very near future. Of course, you never know. Skaters, athletes go for longer these days, but it is a very, very close pair between these two. Van Elst will have a bit of that draft down the backstretch when they cross over. Will tuck into the inner lane, quickly dropping both the arms a little bit. Form a little bit, her arms are flaring a little bit now going around the corner, Isabel Van Elst, but she's closed it right up. It's stride for stride. I still think Czerwonka takes it. She does. She goes to third. Van Elst goes to fifth. 1:16.45, 1:16.53, so a matter of 0.08 of a second, the difference there. Good close by Van Elst.
Still Auslander of Germany with a 1:15.68. We do have 7 pairs to go.
Czerwonka. First games in 2010 where she was an alternate in the team pursuit. Elizaveta Golubeva, Kazakhstan, and
Up
Mohan.
next, pair 4 on the inner, representing Kazakhstan, Elizaveta Golubeva. On the outer lane, representing the People's Republic of China, please welcome Han Mei.
Han Mei.
Go to the start.
underway. And so Han, one of these interesting skaters to watch for, has world championship hardware from Calgary and Hamar in the 1,000 and the 1,500 meters. Last year it was just in Hamar, the 1,500, a bronze medal, but Calgary the year before, a silver in the 1,000. Her best result coming in Calgary this season was a 6th in the 1,500 meters, and so she is in the green through the first time split, but 2 full laps to go. Han Mei, she turns 28 in just 3 days' time. And so the Chinese skater made her Olympic debut 4 years ago on home ice in the green through 600 at the bell, but it is a matter of a few hundredths of a second. And Golubeva, 29-year-old, a little bit further adrift. You can see the speed comparison. Golubeva perhaps got a little bit of that getting sucked along the wind tunnel effect, but not a huge draft. There's a big enough gap, and so Han Mei coming around looking like she could move atop the leaderboard, and she does by 0.2 of a second. Very even final lap. Golubeva did close it up, or almost closed it up a little bit. She goes to third, a 1:16.25 for Golubeva. Han Mei, a 1:15.47. Skater from Inner Mongolia province in China, moving atop the leaderboard. Now lives in Beijing. The ice ribbon not on the World Cup circuit this season. Countdown continues. Femke Koch watches, waits. Pair number 5, Erin Jackson and Sophia Thorpe.
And pair 5 on the inner from the United States, please welcome Erin Jackson. And on the outer lane, representing Denmark, is their national record holder, Sophia Thorpe.
Go to the stop.
So Jackson, the defending Olympic champion in the 500 meters, knows that that is her preferred event, but she does love the challenge of the 1,000, and she is excited. She did get to qualify for the Olympics in the 1,000 meters. Athletes so interesting talking about, I don't know if something might not be their specialty. They do love the challenge, and Jackson in the green, but not in the lead. That is Sophia Thorpe going for her first Olympics in long track speed skating. She did 3 in short track. Recently, the mass start European champion. She was 5 times a European champion in short track, but that was her first international podium in 5 years, and it is still Thorpe in front. A couple tenths of a second. And both skaters, though, well in the green. Jackson gets into the inner lane on the crossover. Thorpe, who trains out of Calgary with her husband, losing some of that steam. You just see it. The lights have gone out. Jackson to the lead. And will Jackson go to the top of the leaderboard? Yes, she will. And Thorpe does hang on for second. And so 1:14.32 by Erin Jackson. 1:15.43 for Sophia Thorpe. Don't expect much in the way of personal bests. Jackson, the 1:13.72. Of course, that was set at some of the high elevation ice. But a good skate for Jackson. And Shimabukuro likes it. So the Florida native moves atop the leaderboard. Pair number 6, Karolina Bosiek, Amelia Smeding, and there is Smeding, British skater.
And on the outer lane, representing Poland, Karolina Bosiek.
Go to the stop. Ready.
And underway, Smeding 6th in the B division yesterday in the 1500 meters. Bosiek 13th in the A division. And so with both of these skaters being more on the sprint side of things, expect this quick opening just like in the last pair. And yeah, you see it, Bosiek by 1/10 of a second, 18:04 the start. In 2018, Bosiek was just 17 years, 355 days old when she was the youngest Polish athlete to compete. She did the 3,000 meters there, though. She sort of refocused into the B division, or in the 1,000 and the 500 meters. In those 2018 games, she was 29th in the 1,000. And at the bell, it is still Bosiek. Bosiek, about 15 hundredths of a second. Her best result in the 1,000 this season is a 13th place. Smeding, another one of those skaters who's made the move to be based out of Calgary. The Olympic Oval there. And it is Smeding now closing things up. And she will use the inner lane to her advantage. And Smeding will win the pair and go second at 1:15.06. Bosiek 1:15.64. So Aaron Jackson still leads for the moment. The big pairs are still to come.
Coming up next in pair 7, we have on the inner lane representing Japan, Rio Yamada. And on the outer lane representing the People's Republic of China, Yin Qi.
Go to the stop. Ready.
Underway, Yamada Rio and Yinchi, Japan and China respectively. Yamada yesterday 7th in the 500 meters, and so another one of those skaters who look for the quick start. And indeed that is the case. The lead by about 1/4 of a second, fastest opener we've seen so far. Yin, medalist in the Asian Winter Games a year ago in Harbin in the 1,000 and the 1,500 meters. And so this is one of those head-to-head meetings of the sprinter versus perhaps the more middle distance specialist. And so Yamada is holding on through 600 meters, but as the legs start to fade, you can see if Yin starts to come back in this one, and that is the case. Here comes the skater from China. It is Yinchi. Going to be an interesting crossover here. Everybody through safely. Yin 15th in the 1,500 meters at the last Olympic Games in Beijing, but it is actually Yamada Rio who comes around to take the pair. So ignore everything I just said. 1:14.92, good enough for second place. 1:15.56 for Yin Chi. So, atop the leaderboard, it looks something like this. Aaron Jackson, Yamada Rio now in second, and Elias Smeding of Great Britain in third. But might that change for pair number 8?
Olympic champion, world champion, national record holder for Japan, Miho Takagi. And on the outer lane representing the Netherlands, Mark Flederis.
Go to the stop.
Now, the defending Olympic champion, the great Takagi Miho, on the inner lane. Marit Flederis of the Netherlands on the outer lane. Yesterday, it was Takagi, silver medal in the 1500 meters. Flederis, 9th in the 500 meters. It was heartbreak for Flederis at the Dutch trials just after Christmas. She double false started in one of the races and failed to qualify. On your social media feed, there is a picture of her head in hand sitting on the side, and so not on the Olympic team is Marit Flederis after what was something of a breakthrough season for her. And look at this, 0.02 of a second separating them. Takagi is going to get the benefit of that inner lane. She, of course, also does that 1500 meter distance, while Flederis is more of an out-and-out sprinter. And so Takagi now levels on the inside. Jackson's time very much in threat right now. Time to beat is 1:14.32. Takagi Miho emphatically to the top of the leaderboard, 1:13.43. So by 0.9 of a second, just about, Flederis goes to 4th, a 1:15.04. But Takagi has not been as dominant as we've expected her this season, or as we have seen her previously. But if there is something that the greats know how to do, it is when to peak. And this is not the time to peak. It's an interesting situation a couple weeks before the Olympics. As training blocks go, this is kind of when skaters are tapering or beginning to taper so that they peak in time in Milano Cortina. And so, interesting way to assess the results here, where yes, winning's great, but you don't maybe want to feel at your best, if that makes sense. Anyway, pair number 9, Beatrice Lamarche from Canada, and that one, the great Brittany Bowe, that woman, ready to skate off into the sunset, but not just yet. Underway, penultimate pair. Beatrice Lamarche on the podium this season to start the year. Brittany Bowe has won so many races, so many events, but one thing remains elusive, an Olympic gold medal. And if we're talking about that X factor, the unknown of what to expect in that ice in Milan, if there's anyone who's adaptable to different conditions, it's a great veteran like Brittany Bowe. And I imagine, too, with World Championships coming up in Heerenveen at Tialf after the Olympics, she's not going to decide at the Games, that's it for me. So many skaters, after their final Olympics, they do want to do one more event in Heerenveen. Just that incredible atmosphere with the Dutch fans. And through 600 meters, it's Beatrice Lamarche in front. Bowe trying to chase her down. She'll try to get a draft. I'm not sure how much she can get there, but she will also tuck into the inner lane. And here comes Brittany Bowe, the great American skater, priming for one final Olympics, and she goes second fastest, 1:14.02. Look at that last lap time, 28.70, 1:14.74. Lamarche goes to 4th. And the final pair, and what a pair it is. But Brittany Bowe never fully out of it. She's just hanging around right now. It does mean that Takagi Miho will be on the podium. It's just a matter of what color is the medal. Her time right now is the one to beat, and it is 1:13.43. Final pair, though, needs no words. Just about unbeatable femme coq this season. Jutta Leerdam, who holds the track record here in Inzell, 1:12.86. And a false start. So the white flag, that means it's to Femke Kok. Let's see. Able to spot just the slightest of move, or whether athletes aren't set.
False start in a lane, no stable position. Go to the start.
And now underway. Leerdam on the podium yesterday. For a skater who tends to get into races in the back half, it was an impressive 500 meters for Leerdam, who started very, very quickly. But it was heartbreak for Jutta Leerdam, at least for a moment at the Dutch trials just after Christmas. She crashed out of the 1,000 meters. And for a moment there was that big question mark. Is she going to miss the Olympics? She bounced back, podiumed in the 500 meters to qualify for the team, but wants to peak for the big moment. But it was one of those moments where you could not believe what you saw. Just about side by side. There's the live split with Takagi. Just over half a second the difference. Leerdam in front right now. Kok has the one victory coming earlier this season in the 1,000 meters I'm talking about. That came in Calgary, but she has not missed the podium. But both skaters still in the green. It's still Leerdam in front. It is Femke Kok fading. It is Leerdam to go to the top by 0.7 of a second. Oh, yes. 1:12.75. That is a track record. 1:12.86, and there you go, confirmation. And if we're looking for people in form heading to the games, just save some for 2 weeks from now. Leerdam has just broken her own track record. And this round, so often Takagi and Leerdam go head to head in past years in the 1,000 meters. Takagi has won a bunch of them. Today, though, goes to Jutta Leerdam. Femke Kok, 1:13.67, bronze medal for her to go with the gold from yesterday. Takagi Miho right there, silver medal, 1:13.43 for her. So the podium, Netherlands, Japan, Netherlands. Brittany Bowe, the great American, just off the podium in fourth, rounding out the top five. Aaron Jackson, very good 1,000 meters in fifth place. And there are the results. Track record 1:12.74 for Leerdam, Takagi, and Kok rounding out the podium. Kok broke her own 500-meter track record yesterday. So So a couple days of new track records.
Today it's use all your net for the 1,000 meter.
Wat open ik dan?
Femke Kok, though, hangs on to take the 1,000-meter overall World Cup standings. Leerdam second, Bo third, Takagi fourth, and Marit Flitteris in fifth. And so Femke Kok will claim the overall 1,000-meter standings. And they will be out to get their medals during the ice resurfacing break. Surface break not coming up just yet. We still have the men's 1,000 meters to go. Look at yesterday's 500-meter winner, Damian Zurek. Absolutely building. It's always been hanging around, but now he is coming good, perhaps when it matters most. Kelnose. Yesterday. One of those skaters. How much longer will he go, do you wonder? Great Dutch skater. And look. Yeah, 4 for 4. Jordan Stoll, 60 points per win. That makes this 240. Yenning DeBow, Damian Zurek, second and third. And Stolz, I think the expectation is that not only he wins, but he wins in style. And I'll look at the pairs, of course, 10th. Certainly one to watch. Pair number 9, Kim Sonnikab and Jordan Stolz. Here's pair number 1, Medine Saperkamp and David Lahoud. Skater under the Canadian skate.
Representing Canada, please welcome David Lahoud.
So, please start.
men's 1,000 meters underway. Saperkamp skated in the B division yesterday in the 500 meters, coming in 4th. Larue skated the 1,500 in the A division, coming in 14th. Now Saperkamp is not on the Dutch team for the Olympics, and so the 25-year-old essentially, the preparations begin now for an attempt at the next games. Larue, we'll see if that 1,500 meter prowess, as he closes things down at the bell. It's Saperkamp in front. See the lap time, Saperkamp just a little bit of a faster lap by 0.2 of a second. And so Larue has a half a second to close down. Saperkamp, though, is going to get a great draft before tucking into the inner lane. If the legs are starting to fade on that sprinter, he got a good benefit. A little bit more labored around that corner, but he will lead the pair to the line. Marijn Saperkamp will go fastest with a 1:08.21, 1:08.57 for Larue. Half a second off the pace. Larue, just a little bit of a quicker lap. You have to wonder how much that draft helped pull Saperkamp along a little bit, tucked in at the right time. The ever-present baseball cap, except when the hood is up, of Finn Zonekab. Second pair, that was pair number 1. Pair number 2, Piotr Michalski of Poland and Moritz Klein of Germany. Pair number 2, Michalski and Klein. Michalski yesterday winning the B division in the 500 meters. Klein coming in 18th in the A division in the 1,500 meters. So perhaps again, the contrasting styles, the morning glory of the sprinter versus the rise of the middle distance skater. It is Michalski, fastest 200 meters, 16:49 right now. Klein, not one of the skaters based out of Inzell. He is out of Erfurt, a couple ovals in Germany. Erfurt has also hosted a number of World Cup events at the bell. Michalski, wow, identical time. Although I'm starting to wonder if it wasn't a 41-second lap time. Either way, we'll see if it all gets sorted out in the end. Now Michalski getting a good draft. See him way out in that outer lane before finally tucking into the inner. He took that as far as he could go. And it will be Piotr Michalski winning the pair, dropping the arms, and will he go top? And he has a 1:08.45, 26.9 lap time. Is that identical? I was a bit confused by some of the splits that we've seen, but for all intents and purposes, at least right now, he has the fastest time, is tied for it, but I'm going to dive in there a little bit. Nothing's been updated. Something went off in my head saying, I don't know about that time, but we'll see. Nothing's been updated just yet. Yenning DeBow. Just had a birthday, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway. Pair number 3. Okay, it has been updated. Michalski at 1:08.45. That is behind Saperkamp's 1:08.21. Okay. Matthias Voste of Belgium going up against Hendrik Dombeck of Germany. Dombeck, another one of the skaters based out of Erfurt.
Germany on the outer, Belgium on the inner.
And it's 2026. As for 2025, a number of German skaters came out with a calendar. And I'm wondering if there's another one for 2026. But either way, both of them a little bit off the pace through the opening 200 meters. Dombeck, they both did the 1500 yesterday. Voste 17th in the B division, Dombeck 16th in the A division. And so as personal bests go, they're both pretty similar. They're about a tenth separating. Of course, it's tough to gauge when they did it, on which ice surface. It's tough to do an apples to apples comparison, but it's even going now. A matter of a couple tenths of a second right now. Voste is going to get a good drag down that backstretch on the final crossover. Tuck in to the inner lane, come out in front, and it is Matthias Voste leading, and he will win the pair. Go to fourth, 108.68. 109.31 for Hendrik Dombeck, good enough for sixth. Might have been some speed there. Just losing the edge a little bit around the corner. What might Damian Zurek have today? Into pair number 4, Kjeld Nuus, Taiyo Nonomura Taiyo. And looks like Kjeld Nuus is just going to get the points, and Nonomura Taiyo on his own in this one. We saw that a few times yesterday in the 500 meters and we've seen it a few times where skaters go to the start line, they take the start, and then they get their World Cup points, but they do not contest the race. Anyway, Nonomura on his own, the 24-year-old from Nakashibetsu. Nonotai is his nickname. Yesterday, he did the 1500 meters, coming in 11th place in the 1500 meters. He gets the bell right now. Started off the season with results he wasn't expecting. Was talking about his mental weakness and working on his mental preparation. And it will be Nonomura casting a solitary figure coming around. Medine Saperkamp's time still leads, a 108.21. Nonomura will go to second with a 108.32. 11 hundredths of a second off the pace. So Medine Saperkamp's time still atop the leaderboard. Pair. Lian Ziwen, China, and Yup Venemars, of course, the world champion in this distance.
And on the outer lane from the Netherlands, Yup Venemars.
Go to the start.
saw a look there of Suzanne Schulting. The relationship those two have attracts a lot of press in the Netherlands. High-profile athletes, of course. Venemar's so much more now than just Urban's kid. 1,000-meter world champion, and in the early going, not far off the pace. A matter of the number of a couple hundredths of a second. Lian Ziwen was 14th yesterday in the 500. Venemar's 13th in the 500. Very even early going. These crossovers and so important, and it's Venemar's in front right now, but still under 0.3 of a second, and so he will come out in front. We'll see what kind of draft Lian can get. It's a bit of a gap. He will tuck into the inner lane. Ziwen trying to close that gap. Yup, Venemar is the world champion, will win the pair, and he will belatedly go atop the leaderboard. 107.23, 108.07 for Lian Ziwen, and so they go 1-2 for the moment. And it took a while, but Medine Saperkamp gets knocked down to third place. Halfway through the 1,000 meters. And so, to run through where we are right now, Joep Venemar's with the lead. Lian Ziwen in second, and Medine Saperkamp in third. As we come to the back half of this event. Just taking a quick look. Ning Zhongyan has the track record of 107.11, and I think it is in its final few moments, but we'll see how much longer it lasts. Connor McDermott Mostowi. And Kojima Ryota. Turns 28 this year from Nagano. McDermott Mostowi. The trials 4 years ago for the United States, the Olympic trials, he was actually stricken with, I believe it was norovirus or was something, and lost a lot of weight in a short period of time and just could not recover in time for the Olympic trials. But here he is racing a few weeks away from an Olympics. It is Kojima in front, but about 0.17 of a second off the opener, of the fastest opener of Joep Venemar's, pardon me. But Kojima has medaled in the 1,000 meters on World Cup before. It's been a few years, and so those times if he can put a race together, just get himself back into the mix. Just 0.1 of a second separating these two. McDermott Mostowi, 0.2 of a second quicker on that lap time. He'll get that benefit of the draft on the crossover, tucking into the inner lane, and so big chance for the American up the inside. A little bit of a wobble there on the corner, but he comes out in front. McDermott Mostowi will take the pair and will go second fastest, 107.92. He likes that one. 108.02 for Kojima Ryota. We've seen a lot of skaters. We saw yesterday in the 500 meters, a number of skaters happy with the results, even if they're not putting up their fastest times. But McDermott Mostowi liking that one. He will have a teammate going in the next pair. But where all eyes will be on that American coming up, Jordan Stolz. Seventh pair. Pardon me. Nope. Change the graphics. Hang on. Cooper McLeod and Ning Zhongyang. Tim Prince and Martin Leaf goes in pair number 8. Now we're on the same page. Here we go. underway. Cooper McLeod, Ning Zhongyan. Another interesting dynamic. McLeod, also very much a 500-meter, 1,000-meter skater. Ning, 1,000-meter, 1,500 meters. So we'll see perhaps the changing flow of this race. McLeod does have the honor of having beaten Jordan Stolz this season. It came in the 500 meters at the U.S. trials. He was silver to the great American in the 1,000. McLeod does also have a bronze medal in the 500 meters at the World Championships. And so this American team primed to have a number of different threats on the ice. McLeod sitting in third right now, 24.77 lap time. Ning at 24.9. Ning, of course, on the podium yesterday, silver in the 1,500. McLeod ninth in the 500 meters, and so he now gets that big draft on the final crossover. And this might be another one where the sprinter benefits from the draft on the final crossover, wins the pair, and goes second fastest. 107.68. 108.51 for Ning Zhongyan of China, so won't be a return to the podium for him. But Joep Venemars still atop the leaderboard.
The time, please. Still Joep Venemars, 107.23. We have 3 pairs to go now.
Is the digital lap board new? That seems pretty new to me. You don't realize the hand flipped ones, but Ryan Shimabukuro had a digital board. That seems new to me. Anyway. Pair number 8. Interesting one in the offing. Martin Lieve on the podium yesterday in the 500. And Tim Prinz.
Please welcome Tim Prinz. And on the outer lane representing Estonia is their national record holder, Martin Liv.
Go to the start. Ready.
And underway. Prinz not named to the Dutch side for the Olympics. They had this whole qualification matrix of slotting in, and then spaces were determined based upon their spots that he qualified. Prinz just missing out. Martin Lieve also does train in Herveen. No ovals, to my knowledge, in Estonia. Lieve is from a little town of about 5,000 people southwest of Tallinn, the capital. Good to see him on the podium yesterday. And he's in the lead right now, 400 meters to go. Here comes Martin Lieve. Bronze medal in the 500 meter yesterday. He says his 1,000 is his better one. And so he is pleased with the 500 meters, but see what kind of lap he has. This one is going to be close. Prinz is coming up the inside, and they're going to come out just about side by side. Lieve drops the arms. It's Prinz in front, and Prinz goes third. Lieve goes fifth, 107.85, 107.94. So 2 pairs to go. Joep Venemars still enjoys the top of the leaderboard. The next one. Two young men who could have a few years against each other.
Up next in pin 9, we have 2 national record holders.
Stolz, who himself has burst onto the scene within the last few years, going up against Finn Zonnekab. Who has made a very loud opening to his senior career.
National record holder, Jordan Stolz.
So 4 for 4. That is Jordan Stolz. Back in November, Zonica beat one of Stolz's junior world records. He's been on the podium already this season, but as you have with young skaters, you go up and down a little bit. He was 9th yesterday in the 1500 meters. Stolz, of course, winning. But Zonica does have medals in both the 1000 and the 1500. And through 200 meters, Stolz has the fastest opener. Zonica also out of Erfurt. He has said he wants to bring Germany back into the speed skating spotlight. Bold statement. Of course, Germany, a long time of power. And he could lead their way back, but right now it's the Stolz show. By about 0.15 of a second over Joep Venemars. The bottom right of your screen is the live tracker. And just look at Stolz go. He adds time as he goes. It is now 0.2 of a second. The current track record in this distance is 107.11, and it has just been smashed. 106.83. By 0.4 of a second, Stolz once again atop the leaderboard. First ever skater under 107 on this ice. And what more can you say about that young man? Rewriting the record book. It will just be one page eventually. Stolz. And the final pair now knows what they have to do. Break a Jordan Stolz track record, which, good luck. Just a skater of a generation, isn't he? Although if there are two men who could do it, Yenning Debo and Damian Zurek. Cleanly away, Damian Zurek, Yenning Debo, and there is Zurek, the European champion. Got to do it on his home ice in Tomaszów Mazowiecki earlier this month, side by side with Yenning Debo. Both of them are quicker through the opening 200 meters, but it is a long, long 800 meters to come. And Stolz, of course, always has that finish. He has something left in the tank that just makes that last lap so indomitable. Zurek yesterday, as I mentioned, gold in the 500 meters, well deserved by him. Debo was 7th, and through 600 meters, they are both in front. Zurek has a 1/4 of a second to work with. Debo, 0.09 of a second, but watch that time in your right corner tick down bit by bit. They're now even with Stolz. It is inside 200 meters. And now they're both in the red as you see the time dip by. Stolz looking like he could do it again. 2nd for Zurek, 4th for Debo, 107.20, and in fact Stolz has done it again. 5 for 5 in the 1000. Great race between Yenning Debo and Damian Zurek. Joep Venemars does hang on for bronze, just ahead of his teammate. Zurek, great form right now. As his training block goes, you just are, if you're a Damian Zurek fan, you're hoping, hold on to this for 2 weeks. Make this part of your taper and go into Italy surging with confidence. But another win for the ever-growing legend of Jordan Stolz.
Attention to all
look. Another week, another day, another track record for Jordan Stolz. Damian Zurich second, Joep Venemars third, Yenning de Boe in fourth, and Cooper McLeod in fifth place. But what could be one of the major stories of the Olympics, Jordan Stolz, at least on World Cup, in the 1,000 is unbeatable. Another news last season where he had pneumonia and another sickness. I think that right now is the only thing that can beat him. But strange things happen at Olympic Games, and so we will watch and we will see just what kind of show that man puts on in just a few weeks' time. Ice resurfacers are back out. They're going to do some medal presentations. As you see the standings, a perfect 300 for Stolz, Zurich in second, Yenning de Boe third overall, Prins and Zonekab rounding out the top 5. So they will take a break. They will give out the medals for the events that you just saw, and on the other side we will come back for the women's 3,000 meters. I will join you then.
Meine Damen und Herren, wir kommen nun zum Sieger des Eishockey-Weltcups über die 1000 Meter der Damen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the medal ceremony for the Ice World Cup 1000 meter women. In third place and bronze medalist representing the Netherlands, Femke Kok. Medals gifts are being presented
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Utah, clear down. Congratulations to the ISU World Cup winners for the 1,000 meter women. Gestern Glückwunsch an die Internationalen des ISU World Cups über die 1000 Meter der Damen.
Oh ja, ik skip. Ik denk dat ik niet in de top 3 sta. Thank you.
Meine Damen und Herren, wir kommen nun zur Siegerin des ISU World Cups über die 1000 Meter der Herren. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the medal ceremony for the ISU World Cup 1000 meter men. In third place, bronze medalist, representing the Netherlands, Hugh Venemars. Medals in both years to be presented by ISU representative Mr. Albert Hasselhoff. Michael Lawrence and Stephen Meyer.
Congratulations. How is it?
Thank you. Yeah, that was it.
Congratulations. All the
Thank
best
you.
to you.
Thank you.
You'll be very proud.
Hugh Venemars. In second place, silver medalist representing Poland, David Surek.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good.
Thanks.
David Surek.
Thank
You're
you.
very proud of you.
Thank you.
In first place, gold medalist, new track record holder, representing the United States, Jordan Stoll.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You're very proud of you. All the best.
Thank you.
Jordan Stoll.
Oh, we did the high rocks. Yeah, it's a new sport. It's like pretty good. What? Oh, like this? Yeah. This is part of the high
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Brittany Bowe. In second place, representing the Netherlands, Utah Mirja. Utah Leardown. And in first place, representing the Netherlands, Femke Kok.
Als je hier nog wat plek voor hebt hoor. Dankjewel. Hij is waar. Ja. Ik heb plek in mijn koffer.
Femke Kok. Congratulations to the Ice Team winners for the overall 1,000 meter distance for the women. Herzlichen Glückwunsch an die Siegerin des Eishockey-Cups über die 1000 Meter der Damen.
Ik heb er echt geen plek voor. Maar jij gaat komen. Dat is waar. Dat is waar.
Meine Damen und Herren, wir kommen nun zu Sieger des Eishockey Cups Gesamtwertung über die 1000 Meter der Herren. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the trophy ceremony for the IC World Cup overall 1,000 meter men. In third place, representing the Netherlands, Yannick de Bow.
Zeker weten. Dat is mooi met jou ook. Gefeliciteerd, super, dankjewel.
Yannick de Bow. In second place, representing Poland, Damian Surek.
Overall ranking is of course also great decision.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Damian Surek. And in first place, representing the United States, Jordan Stoltz.
Overall winner of this year. It's also
Jordan Stoltz. Congratulations to the ISU World
been biking and stuff. So nothing against that shape of my life. You know, you throw it on high school. Here on that.
About ready to get back to action in Inzell, Germany. Women's 3,000 meters coming up in just a few minutes. That will be followed by the men's 5,000 meters. Tomorrow, we have the second 500 meters as well as the mass start and team sprint events. Of course, the team sprint will not be part of the Olympic program. The long distances standings coming in. It's Ragna Wiklund, Isabel Weideman, Valerie Malte, Joy Buna, and Marijke Groenewoud. And of course, the distance standings combines when they do the 3,000 and the 5,000 meters. This weekend, it's a 3,000 for women, it's a 5,000 for men, as you will see the pairs that are to come. Finishing with Joy Buna against Francesca Lola Brigida. Buna this will be her one distance at the Olympics. She did not qualify in the 1500s, to the shock of many. Joy Buna focused on just one event. Scary, scary stuff for the rest of the field. Pair number one, a couple of fresh-faced youngsters on offer. Violette Braun of France, Smiles, and Janine Rossner of Austria. So Violette Braun going to the Olympics to represent France. She is based out of Grenoble, of course, a former Olympic city in its host right. And so once these next games are done in Milan itself, using a temporary indoor oval in Milan for the Milano Cortina Olympics, the big question is going to become, who's going to host long track speed skating in 2030? France is up next. There have been musings about where they could go. I'm not sure what the latest news is on that, but it will be interesting to see what happens there. But Violette Braun, the 19-year-old, doesn't turn 20 until September, is certainly building towards that. She has raced exclusively in the B division this season, so this is her A division debut at the senior level. We've even done B division for mass start, and so interesting to see what kind of skate Violette Braun puts up. So a bit of the unknown with Janine Rossner, since she's done, save for the mass start, Rossner has done just B division races individually. But in the early goings, watch the lap time, see how she goes. 31.16 that last time. A lot of skaters in the 3,000 meters these days go out a little bit quicker, and the bleed off of time happens a lot faster, but if they are able to maintain it and not lose too much time, they put up a quick lap. You'll see a lot of skaters who will do just consistent lap times, keeping it steady, and so contrasting styles a little bit. Rossner another 31.81, Braun dipping into the 32-second lap times. So Janine Rossner, who did win a lot of Junior World Cup medals last season. She has competed at the Youth Olympics, so lots to come from this young skater. The Austrian program, to my knowledge, there's no indoor oval, but Innsbruck hosts a lot of youth events, a lovely outdoor facility in an absolutely spectacular part of the world. Innsbruck, the city that's hosted Olympic Games and Youth Olympics. Janine Rossner, beginning of the time to turn that promise into results at the senior level. World Junior Champion in the 1500, the 3000, the 1000 last season. All of those coming in Colalbo, Italy. And with 2 laps to go, Janine Rossner dipping into the 32s, a 32.34. Violette Brown, a 32.91. Nice and steady race by Janine Rossner. Some of these skaters who might not have skated at the higher elevation ices could always look for maybe a personal best. Rossner at 3:58.42 and Brown 3:59.79. And so with 1 lap to go, well, she's on pace, I think. So I'm not going to do the math quickly. She's still in the 32s. Brown dips into the 33s. 33.32 for the skater from the Alpine region of France. Just a little bit of a form slip there, dropping that arm a little bit. She gets it right back onto her back. And one arm going, that ticks the legs over a little bit, and no, in the end, I do not think it will be a personal best. Yeah, the math was wrong. Glad you didn't listen to me. 4:04.67. A little bit off her personal best. 4:09.01 for Violette Brown of France. And so getting thrown into the deep end. The young skaters fresh out of the junior ranks. Their A-level debut in one of the traditional distances of speed skating. See how long those hold up for.
Coming up next.
Here, number 2. See Hoffman, Germany. Horikawa Momoka, Japan. So Hoffman just turned 29 back in December. Horikawa, who is 22, underway in pair number 2. And there is Yossi Hoffman, another one of the skaters based out of Erfurt. She's out of Thuringia, right near the border with Czechia. Here's a look at Martina Sablikova, game face on, ready to go. And in the case of Yossi Hoffman, she did pick up a first place in the B division in the 3,000 meters back in Calgary. Also in Calgary when they hosted the World Championships. That's a 5th place and 8th place in the 5,000 meters. Good results in Calgary. And it is Hoffman up about a 1/4 of a second early on. Just check those lap times. About all in the 30-second range right now. Horikawa, one of the many Japanese skaters out of Hokkaido, the northern island, known for its snowy winters, a lot of skiing up there. Also the oval in Obihiro, just outside Sapporo, where so many of those skaters are based now. It's hosted World Cup competition before. Horikawa is off to her first Olympic Games in just a few weeks' time. From Taiki, lives on a farm when she's not skating around the world. Right now it is Hoffman in the lead right now. In case we do need it, I don't think we will. Yossi Hoffman is a 3:57.71 personal best. Do not expect that to come down here. But hey, you never know. Let's see. Hoffman lapping in the 31.43 range. Horikawa in the 32s. There's Marijke Groenewoud. She will come closer to the end. Check this latest split for Yossi Hoffman leading the way. She's now over a second's lead. She's still lapping in the 31 range, so good consistency from Yossi Hoffman. Yeah, her personal best was set back in November in Calgary.
She will have 2 laps to go when she comes around.
Morikawa just keeping her in sight with 2 laps to go. Yossi Hoffman, let's see that lap time again. Now she dips into the 32 range, but she has a second to work with. And look at this, Horikawa lapping a little bit quicker that last time around. And let's see if this is the beginning of a trend, if Hoffman is starting to fade and Horikawa is just keeping it in that range. She has her in sight. Hoffman does get to go into the inner lane, mind you. And so yeah, with Hoffman getting that inner lane, she has a chance to build it back out. Let's see the lap time. Don't get those split there. And there it is, 33.18. Horikawa a little bit quicker. And when the pain starts to settle in, the times can disappear in a hurry. But let's see, Hoffman has some time to work with. Horikawa is lapping notably quicker there. You see the speed check in the bottom right corner. Horikawa now has closed it right up. And it will be Horikawa Momoka who will take the pair. And when the legs just give out, they give out quickly. And Horikawa will go to the lead by 0.07 of a second. She kept it consistent, low 32s for a lot of the way there down the stretch. So Horikawa Momoka moves atop the leaderboard.
So the new time to beat is 4:04.60, set by Horikawa of Japan.
Isabel Weideman.
And to our 38th years here for the 3,000 meter women.
She's really been skating back to her best, hasn't she, this season?
On the inner lane, representing the Netherlands.
Bente Kerkhoff.
Please welcome Bente Kerkhoff.
And Tai Jian. China in this one.
Representing the People's Republic of China, Tai Jian.
Go to the start. Ready.
Pair number 3 underway. Kerkhoff and Tai. Kerkhoff just turned 25 years old right before the turn of the new year, December 28th. Out of Oostwoud. It's in North Holland, just north of Amsterdam. It is Tai with the early lead. Jian, she doesn't turn 20 until September. One of those young upstarts getting their feet wet at the senior level. Watch for Kerkhoff's time. She does marathon skating as well, and so if there's someone who's big marathon races in the Netherlands where there's just essentially large mass start races, and they go for a long time, and so if you're looking for consistency, watch and see if Bente Kerkhoff can just keep her lap times consistent. Jian has done some B division, done some A division right before the winter break. She was 16th in the A division in the 3,000 meters. She got a 10th in Calgary and an 11th in Salt Lake City. Still 31.5, Bente Kerkhoff. 3,000 meters this season. Kerkhoff has finished in 7th and 12th place at the Dutch Championships. To start off the season, she was bronze in the 5,000 meters. So just see how consistent she does it. And never, I mean, we all know how great the Dutch program is, but this sport well and truly is part of the national fabric. You go to the Jap Eden Ijsbaan in Amsterdam, the outdoor facility on any night in the winter. There's kids learning, there's adults learning. And so Bente Kerkhoff did not qualify in the 3,000 meters. She did, however, qualify in both the 5,000 meters and the mass start for the Dutch team. As I mentioned earlier, they did their trials just after Christmas, and they had this whole matrix where they slotted in names and seeing who got qualified, and so a bit complicated. We're now talking about Joy Bune missing out on the 1,500 meters, a race that she's one of the absolute best in. Ragnar Wiklund came to her defense and went, maybe they need to change their format, but hey, whatever works for them. The Dutch team, of course, expects greatness when they go to the Olympics. And Kerkhoff is 2 seconds off the pace. And so she is lapping in the 33s. And if you'll remember Horikawa, she was very consistent. 32-second range most of the way. And so it looks like Horikawa might hold up. Kerkhoff, whose personal best is almost 2 seconds faster than Horikawa, but so much changes in this sport. Where did you do your personal best? When? 1 to go. Kerkhoff now 3.5 seconds down, and look at that. Tai Jian is lapping a little bit quicker, and we'll see what kind of fade Kerkhoff has. Keeping both hands on the back. Of course, it's more aerodynamic than when you're swinging just one arm. There, she gets it going around the corner just to keep those legs ticking over. And let's see. And Tai is closing up. Who has the last little spring in their step? And it will be Tai Jian getting it right at the death by 1/10 of a second. She jumps up into 5th. Kerkhoff goes to 6th. 5 pairs still to come. Lola Brigida checks in. Pair number 4, Nadezhda Morozova and Ivany Blondin.
On the air from Kazakhstan, national record holder Nadezhda Morozova. And on the outer lane, representing Canada, Ivany Blondin.
Blondin does so many distances for Canada. You'll pardon the metaphor. Blondin is something of a Swiss Army knife in the Canadian program. Not only does she do the individual distances, we know how good she is in mass start. She also does the team sprint, the mixed gender relay, the events that are not included at an Olympics, well, at least not yet. But she might be going into her final games. Morozova of Astana. Dmitry Morozov as Joy Bune enters the arena. And so Morozova is in the B division to start off the season in the 3,000 meters in Salt Lake City, finishing in 3rd. She's 5th in Calgary a week later. Last World Championships. She just did the 1,000 meters. And one thing I did note at the start of the season, She did a 5,000 meters earlier this year, and it was her first one in about 3 years competitively. But she's out in front right now.
And her lap time now across the line with 5 laps to go.
And she's lapping. Look at this. She is of the school of throwing down some times early. Blondet also in the green, low 32s, but I'm not sure I've seen anybody in the 30-second range yet. Let's just see here. Yeah, she's the first person to do 30-second lap times today, and so we'll see if she will stand resolute or if she will wilt as the race goes on. Now lapping 31, but just barely. You look for the signs of fatigue. Both hands on the back, legs still going. Didn't look labored, did she? I'm not the expert, but she's still looking quite fresh in my mind. Let's see what kind of lap time she throws down now. She's still lapping quicker than Blondet. And a 31.55. Still not even close to 32s. Morozova. This is starting to look more and more like a very real time. Blondet now dipping into the high 31s as she is picking things up as this progresses. Here coming up is Martina Sablikova, the epitome of consistent lap times, but Morozova has gone out quick and 2 to go, and she's now 32. She has 5 seconds to work with. And as we've seen from a previous race, identical lap time just about to Blondet, but as we've seen in an earlier pair, when the lactic really kicks in and when there's nothing left in the legs, the time disappears in a hurry. So we'll see what Morozova has left, but she's throwing something down here. Be interesting to see how long this stands up for. Beautiful sound for her, but also agonizingly knowing there's 400 meters to go. She's still 32.4, 32.1 for Blondet. So Blondet also skating consistently well. But talk about putting time in the bank. Nadezhda Morozova now gets that last little spring in the step. She knows that finish line is in sight and can just do a little bit more of a dash. This will be a new fastest time, but by how much? Nadezhda Morozova of Kazakhstan, the native of Astana, and she will go 4 minutes, 0.19 by 4.5 seconds. Blondet goes to second. But Morozova stayed all the way under 33. 4.19. And Morozova's previous personal best was a 3:58. And so not bad on ice that's not kind of regarded as the fastest in the world. She did her personal best in Salt Lake City back in 2025, late last year now. That was the last time she did it. She did it on that World Cup. I'm not sure if that was a grimace of, oh, thank goodness that's over, or hey, that's pretty good.
Representing Czechia is the world record holder, Martina Sablikova. And on the outer lane, representing Belgium, is their national record holder, Sandrine Tass.
Go to the start.
Underway, the great Martina Sablikova. One of the just definitions of sheer consistency. First Olympics back in Turin in 2006. And so almost similar to Ariana Fontana of short track, who made their Olympic debut in 2006. Of course, you know, 7 Olympic medals in her career, 3 of them gold. She's the world record holder in this distance. You know, even as she's moving on to the twilight of her career, she's still consistently near the top of the leaderboard. Her world record, remember, 3:52.02. Do not expect that to be threatened. Let's just see. Nadezhda Morozova threw down a time, remember. Like the skaters, 30.47. Sandrine Tass, native of Ostende, which is on the north coast of Belgium. That's a game face right there. Joy Buna ready to go. But Tass, Ostende, it is west of Bruges. And she is 30 years old. Sandrine Tass, former inliner, switched in 2018 to the skates. Graduated, accomplished off the ice as well. Graduated in 2021 from the University of Ghent with a master's in bioscience engineering. And what do I know about bioscience engineering? I just know how to read it. You can't ask me to explain this. But Sandrine Tass, accomplished athlete on and off the ice. 16th in the World Championships last season in Hamar in Norway. And in the early going, both of them are in the 31 range, 31.05, 31.4 for Sablikova. So Tass not throwing, but some pretty good lap times here. And so Sablikova has always been one of consistency. If we watched, Morozova threw down some quick times and then bled it off a little bit going into the 32 seconds in the last 3 laps. But Sandrine Tass, this is an interesting one for her. Tass is certainly, you see the speed check there. And quicker. Looking at some of her previous results. She was 9th in Hamar right before the Christmas break in the 3,000 meters, 7th in Calgary. So definitely top 10 skater. Sablikova ticking over into the 32-second range. Tass still in the 31s. Sablikova, of course, Czechia now. When she was born, it was still Czechoslovakia. I'm sure a lot of the young skaters would go, what's that? 1 to go. Tass still leading at 32.3. Identical lap times between the two. About 62 hundredths of a second separating them. Tass would enjoy a bit of a draft there down the last stretch. And so it looks very much like Nadezhda Morozova's time will hold up. Yvonne Blondin came about 3 3/4 seconds further behind, and so Tass will win the pair. The big question, where will she go? Sandrine Tass of Belgium goes to second with a 4.92. Sablikova to third with a 4.0198. And so Nadezhda Morozova still leading the way, survives one scare. That's plenty more skaters still to come. Our current leader. But in the next pair is the winner from the last World Cup in Hamar. In the outer lane there from the Netherlands, Marijke Groenewoud going up against Isabel Weideman of Canada. As I just mentioned, Groenewoud winning the 3,000 meters in Hamar right before the Christmas break. The Dutch trials, the Dutch tournament, rather, right after the Olympics, or after the Christmas break, she set a new personal best in the 3,000 meters in winning that event ahead of Joy Bune and Miro Konein. Konein not here racing this weekend, but Bune will be busy in Milano Cortina. She will race the 3,000. She will also race the mass start. She's very good at mass start. She's also in line for the team pursuit as well. So certainly one of the skaters who's broadened her horizons. I mean, for the last few years, we'd see her consistently in the mass start, but now just throwing down as an all-round long-distance skater. The native of Haarlem, northeast of Amsterdam, is of course the defender, or not defending, 2024 world champion from Beijing in the mass start. Bronze in the team pursuit from the last Olympics, 5th in the 1500. And she also now lapping in the high 30-second range. Weideman, another one of the skaters who will skate consistently, much like Sablikova. But Grunewald going out and chasing down what is an increasingly impressive time by Nadezhda Morozova of Kazakhstan. And Grunewald now 31.5 lap time, 31.7 for Weideman. So Weideman, you would expect to start coming back into this race. The bronze medalist from the last Olympics in Beijing, silver in the 5,000 meters. So you know there's life in those legs for the native of Ottawa. Of course, Canada's national capital, now based out of Calgary. Canada, the home to 3 indoor ovals. There's the Calgary one, there's the Quebec City one, and then in the small city of Fort St. John in the northeast of British Columbia. Facility there, it's actually on the 2nd level of a building, and so on the bottom level there's hockey and short track ice, in the middle level there's the speed skating oval, and the top level there's a walking track. And so I have skated there. If you're wondering why I know about it, it's an interesting place where you can sort of look down to the bottom level. But anyway, Canada home to 3 indoor ovals, 2 laps to go. And you see Weideman is lapping quicker. She has about 1.2 seconds to close on Grunewald. Let's see how the teeth gritting. How's the pain face? And this might be the moment. Weideman is going to jump in front of Grunewald, who's going to try to hook on and get into that slipstream, but her lead is now down to just 0.07 of a second over Isabel Weideman. And the current 3rd place time is a 4:01.98 for Martina Sablikova. Grunewald does have the inner lane, but it will be Isabel Weideman coming around to take the pair. How close will she be? She might be just off the podium, and that is the case. 4:02.11. She goes to 4th. Grunewald goes to 5th place with a 4:02.98. Shake of the head from Weideman. Not her day today, but as I mentioned, where they are in their training blocks, it's kind of the tapering time. And so, in a way, if you're not at your best, you can at least say, you know, this is not when I'm supposed to be at my best. That's 2 weeks from now. And so Nadezhda Morozova, with 2 pairs to go, still tops the leaderboard. And it is an impressive pair here, led by that woman, Ragnar Wiklund, the distances leader on World Cup right now. And Valerie Malte perhaps having her best individual season.
Go to the start. Ready.
Just checking Morozovan's results this season, and she's such an interesting skater because she has been on the podium this year, the 1500 in Hamar, a silver medal. She has won a B division in the 500 meters, and then she does 3000s, and she does just about everything. And I'm just trying to see how far back. Does she have an individual World Cup victory right at the moment? I'm saying no, but either way, Nadezhda Morozova will watch these last two pairs with great interest. Ragna Wiklund on the podium yesterday in the 1500 meters. Always just that style, the arm out. It's almost like she's tiptoeing around the corner. The 25-year-old from Oslo. Malte at 29.69. Ragna Wiklund. Well, that's the first skater to lap in the 29s today. And Morozova certainly all smiles. Malte will also do the 5,000 meters, the team pursuit, the mass start. The former short tracker. Just finding so much joy. She said that as her career's gone on, she's gotten to better, of course, understand her body and how it reacts. She's training out of that Quebec City Oval where they have access to medical facilities and treatment and all that. Her husband, Jordan Belchos, a former skater as well. And there is the live split right now. Over Morozova, Wiklund has 1.3 seconds in the bank as she laps 30.5 seconds. Wiklund, of course, one of those great distance skaters, and if you're looking for skaters who might be able to keep that lap time similar, it is the woman in red. Ragna Wiklund. Now adding to her time, 30.59, got it banged on, zeroed. 30.5 seconds. Couple laps in a row. And now just adding to it, 2.8 seconds to the good. Now we'll start to look. The current first place time, 4 minutes, 0.19. The track record is Joy Buna's, a 3:55.72. And Wiklund, well, she's going to threaten it anyway. Just a great history of long-distance skaters. Wiklund winning the 5,000 meters earlier this season in Heerenveen. That is her only World Cup victory this season. And she will get the bell. The live split, she has 4.5 seconds advantage over Morozova. Malte also putting together a great race, a couple tenths of a second off Morozova's pace, and both of them are in the 31-second range. Wiklund was bronze in Hamar in the 3,000 meters. She was silver in Calgary. She was bronze in Salt Lake City. Now she's just trying to change the color. Wiklund has seen plenty of the podium this season on World Cup, but she has not yet had a gold medal. And let's see how she does there. 3:54.74. That is, in fact, a track record. And Malte will go to second with a 3:59.92. And so the gauntlet has been thrown down. Gold is the one color Ragna Wiklund doesn't have in the 3,000 meters yet this season. And beating it is going to take some doing. You are Francesca Lollobrigida and Joy Buna, simulating perhaps that pressure of an Olympic Games. You're in the final pair. It all comes down to you. Current standings, Vikland, Malte, and Morozova. That time held up very well, sitting in third. Of course, a good traveling Norwegian contingent. Here is the 5,000-meter world champion, Francesca Lollobrigida. And a very focused Joy Buna. That looks fun. I like that, the custom skate for Buna. Enjoy. For the next 3,000 meters, I'm sure she'll be doing her best to remember her enjoyment as the lactic acid makes the legs burn. But Buna, as I mentioned, failed to qualify for the Dutch team in the 1,500 meters. This will be her one event. And so she will be locked in. The native of Borne, in eastern part of the Netherlands, right near the German border. And so yes, she does speak English, Dutch, and German. And Lollobrigida, since winning the World Championships, her best result in the 3,000 meters has been a 4th. That was in Salt Lake City. She was 7th in the one skating of the 5,000 meters on World Cup. Every time there's a host Olympics, there tends to be somebody from the host nation who rises up to the occasion, has the big moment. And I mean, you look at the last time Italy had the Olympics, and Enrico Fabrice captured the hearts of the nation and enjoyed his moment. I know he's part of the organization now at that temporary oval in Milan. And so you look at these skaters like Lollobrigida, even though if they don't have the results they've seen, those rings have the ability to give you those extra wings. But right now it's Joy Buna on the front. And there is no Miro Konijn for the Dutch. For the Dutch side, in Milan, it will be Miro Konijn, Joy Buna, and Marijke Groenewoud. In the lead right now. We'll see how these laps compare. And she dips 31.13. So she is 0.7 of a second off the pace. Lollobrigida, I do not think will factor today. But Buna just saw her track record beaten, as if she needed any more motivation. On the back, a little bit wobbly there, but looking so smooth. Joy Buna, both hands on the back. She's losing time though, with just 2 laps to go. She's into the 31s. Vikland remained in the 30-second plus lap time until lap number 6. Lap 7 and 8, her last 2 were in 31 and 32. What does Joy Buna have left in the tank? Current second place is Valerie Malte, 3:59.52. That's 5 seconds adrift, and so Buna has some time to work with, at least until second place. She is eyeing gold, though, of course. Lollobrigida going to 32.3. So Vikland may just make that medal gold in the final World Cup of the season. She'll have the complete set of World Cup 3,000-meter medals. Buna just drops one arm, final few strides, looking like she will go to silver, and that is in fact the case, the 3:56.96. So Joy Buna second behind Ragnar Wiklund and just ahead of Canadian Valerie Malte. Lola Brigida goes to ninth, a 4:03.63. The celebration for the day can begin for the native of Oslo. The medal for Malte continuing her fine season. Burnett wants to turn that 2 into a 1 in just a few weeks' time, and so all the more motivation. A great skater from the Netherlands, but it's Wiklund's day. Confirmed results, track record, Ragnar Wiklund, 3:54.74, Joy Buna second, Valerie Malte third. A great skate by Nadezhda Morozova in fourth, and Sandrine Tass of Belgium, another great skate for her in fifth place. These distance events, radically different results from one weekend to the next, and so we will see them next at the Olympics, and we'll see how things change. I believe I hear the Glass Blazers playing, the brass band that you've been hearing chime in. They are out of Heerenveen. They've been together for 40 years. Something about brass bands and speed skating. And it's Ragnar Wiklund winning the long distance World Cup standings. Weideman in second, Buna in third, and then Malte and Morozova. We will get 2 medals in just a little bit for today and for the season. Final event of the day coming up, the men's 5,000 meters. A look at the pairings. So many things to watch for in these 5,000. Just the depth of the field is so interesting. Young upstarts, veteran skaters. Tough to handicap this one. There is pair number 1, Vladimir Semiruni of Poland. Alongside him, Victor Haldthorp of Denmark.
And on the other leg from Denmark is their national record holder, Victor Haldthorp.
Thorpe just turned 23 last month, December 11th. He officially achieved his Polish citizenship in August of last year. Of course, that would make him eligible to race for the Olympics. Thorpe, one of the skaters I talked about, his wife, he lives and trains in Calgary now, was based in Salt Lake City for many years. So, the helmet on Semiruni. You're seeing it a little bit more in the distance events. Of course, it's a feature of the team events, really, but now used more on individual events in the long distances anyway. I haven't really seen it much on World Cup, but the Dutch trials right after Christmas, there were a number of skaters, even some veteran ones, wearing the helmet. I'm sure there's an aerodynamic reason to it, not just for safety purposes. Right now, Semiruni well out in front through 1,000 meters. So 10 laps to go. Keep watching those lap times. 28.64. See how long you can keep it in that ballpark. Thorpe just settling in with a 29 range lap time there.
The current track record here is 6:04.52.
So Semiruni, he made the leap over to Poland a couple of years ago. He did not speak any Polish. He now is conversational in it. He has mostly skated in B division, at least on World Cup. He was 4th, though, in the 5,000 meters in Hamar. And then coming out of the Christmas break, he went on to win the European Championships in the 5,000 meters. And he was silver in the 1,500. So if you're looking for a skater who's building confidence and momentum, this young man from Poland right here. They nickname him Władek, which is the Polish equivalent of Vlad. Of course, the short version of his name, Vladimir.
So we will see him again next month.
And that's looking increasingly a bit like a one-man show right now. Still just under the halfway mark, and Semiruni still lapping 28.86, 29.26 for Victor Haldthorp. Semiruni silver at the single distances in the 10,000 meters last season, bronze in the 5K. At such a young age, he is building his resume. He's in pair number 1 right now, but again, I was just talking about so many things to look for. You look at the likes of Jorrit Bergsma, the great Dutch veteran, Davide Giotto, not having perhaps his best season, but then you go with Timothy Lubineau, who of France, who's having a great year. Started off with a bang in Salt Lake City. Sander Eitrem, the great Norwegian. Metode Jilek, just bursting onto the scene, the young skater from Czechia. Like Casey Dawson, Ted-Jan Blumen, the Canadian veteran who's just been hanging around. And so on any given day, whoever gets that right mix. He's feeling the best, knows the ice the best, and just sets their pacing just right. We could have wildly different podia from day to day, from week to week even. Right now, it is Vladimir Semi-Rooney still lapping in the 28s with 4 laps to go. Thorpe also very consistent for him, lapping in the 29s. So you find your rhythm and you just settle in. You find that tempo, that rhythm where you are not creating too much lactic acid and the legs aren't burning. You can just keep that steady tempo rolling over consistently, and that's what Semi-Rooney is doing now, dipping into the 29s for the first time as Davide Giotto steps into the arena. After Hal Thorpe still going in the mid-29s range. And now 2 to go. 29-3 for him. And bouncing up and down. You're looking for the form breaks a little bit at this stage of the game. The body's getting a little bit louder, going side to side, trying to will this momentum to keep the legs going over. And now 1 to go. We'll see what this latest split is. 29-8-3, and so slipping towards the 30s. Thorpe into 30.38. So now it's just whatever is left for Vladimir Semi-Rooney. The mantra of speed skaters is to get low. He's coming up a little bit, standing up a little bit more. Of course, it's less aerodynamic, but at this stage of the game, you are exhausted, and he goes 6:07.81. And hey, how about that? A personal best. So Vladimir Semi-Rooney, 6:07.81. That beats 6:09.18. So he'll certainly take that. This is not an ice usually for personal bests, but hey now, Vladimir Semi-Rooney just got one. Time holds up. Pair number 2, Fridtjof Petzold of Germany, Sigurd Henriksson of Norway. Underway, Petzold and Henriksson. Henriksson, 21 years old, born in Bergen, now lives in Stavanger. And of course, there is the outdoor role, but I believe the Norwegians are building an indoor facility in Bergen. Don't quote me on that. There is a new ice facility going in. I'm just not sure if it includes an oval. We got Petzold. Him winning a medal on World Cup in mass start last season. He was part of a breakaway of a few skaters in Calgary, coming in second to Timothy Lubino, and I believe it was Matthias Voste of Belgium who finished in third. Very even in the early going here. Norway, of course, the long history of distance skaters. Whatever happens in Norway, kids seem drawn to the long distance races, and so spoken before about Jeremy Wotherspoon, the great Canadian sprinter, coaching the sprint program in Norway, and they get fewer kids getting into the sprints, more going to the distances. Same thing goes for short track, where the Norwegian short track program is building, but a lot of the focus, I guess, when you have that pedigree, that history of great long distance Norwegian skaters, success begets success. But at the moment, Fridtjof Petzold in the lead, the man from Erfurt. He was born in Verdau. And there is young Metode Jilek still to come. He goes in the final pair number 8 against Sander Eitrem. It is Petzold for the moment. He's never far away from doing something athletic. When he's not skating, he's cycling or walking, hiking. He lives largely outdoors a lot of the time. And he's a relatively recent convert to wearing the helmet as well. In Sigurd Hendriksen's case, he's a guy who's often up and down in B division, in A division. We don't see those B races. So just kind of running through what he has done this season: 12th in the 5,000 meters in A division in Salt Lake, 15th in Calgary. And then he raced in the B division, coming in 2nd in Hamar on home ice, and now racing here today. He did also do the 10,000 meters in Heerenveen, finishing in 4th in the B division. At the moment, it is Petzold, 2.22 seconds off the pace set by Vladimir Semiruni. Petzold in Hamar at Worlds last year was 15th in this distance. So just checking his lap time, 2,000 meters to go. 29.63. He's 3 seconds off the pace. Semiruni did not get to 29 until lap number 10. Just to show, he was 29.1, 29.3, 29.8, and 30.1. And so Semiruni's time looking more and more like it will survive its first challenge. 29.84. Now look at this. Henriksen is closing up a little bit, and he has, I'm going to say, 1.5 seconds to close, and with a couple laps to go, this pair itself could close right up. It's Petzold for the moment. His form still looks nice and quiet. He's not all over the place. Shoulders aren't rocking. And he dips into the 30s, and Henriksen knocks another at least 1/4 second out of him. And so now the difference is about 1.2 seconds. But Petzold will get to tuck back into the inner lane. He did give a little bit of a toe to Henriksen, though. Big time check here. Let's see. As he stemmed the losses a little bit, he's again around 30.3. Henriksen gaining another 1/4 second. The difference is now 1.08. Do not look at this rate anyway, there's not enough time, but as we have seen and as I've said ad nauseum, when the legs give out, the time disappears in a hurry. And they will get the bell now through 4,600 meters. Petzold another 30-second lap time, and Henriksen not carving in enough at this stage of the game. And Petzold will get to go over the top on the crossover, and he will tuck into the inner lane. And so it looks like Fridtjof Petzold will hold on. And let's see how he will compare. And he will go 6:13.43. That's second. Hendrickson a 6:14.98. Good enough for third at the moment.
Sliding into second and third so far.
And so the standings at the moment: 6:07.81. Vladimir Semiruni, Fridtjof Petzold 6:13.43 in second. Since we are in an era of track records every weekend, and multiple track records every weekend, Davide Giotto 6:04.52. And so, 3.2 seconds ahead of the fastest time. I'd say it's possible. Next pair, though: Felix Mali of Germany and Bart Swings, the mass start maestro.
It's their national record holder, Bart Swings.
And underway with the third pair, Bart Swings. Of course, the defending Olympic gold medalist in the mass start, the first Belgian speed skating gold medal. And he came from inline, one of the greatest to ever go inline, and crossed over in pursuit of Olympic glory. That pursuit has paid off, but he turns 35 in a few weeks' time during the Olympics themselves. And from Leuven, we're going 28.75. That lap time, 29.15 for Felix Mali. We'll see how well they can maintain it. Mali from Verdau himself, he turns 32 in May. Just another one out of Erfurt. So a guy we see often in mass start. And so Mali does have a silver medal in mass start this season from Salt Lake City in World Cup #1. Going through his distance results, 5,000 in Salt Lake. He was 11th, 9th in Calgary, 11th in the 10,000 meters in Heerenveen, and then 16th in Hamar. But as I mentioned, one to watch alongside Bart Swings in the mass start. That will go tomorrow. Mass start's a race where perhaps I'm wrong, but in the early years it seemed like the races would all come down to the finish, and they still do, of course. That's where the most of the points are. But we're seeing more skaters being a little more cavalier, going off on breakaways, and the breakaways staying away as the organization to chase them down just not coming together. And so I imagine we'll see both of these guys tomorrow as well. Right now, though, both of them lapping 29.23 for Mali, 29.51 for Swings. Both about 2 seconds adrift of the time set by Vladimir Semiruni. And of Poland. Facility Tomasz Mazowiecki. Still another one, 29.65 this time. Swings is the faster of the two. Again, just looking. Until lap number 10 that Semiruni got into the 29 range. And Mali got into 29 on lap 2. Swings got into the 29s on lap 3. And so it's easier to bank the time, it seems, than chase, but these guys have locked in. They've got their tempo anyway. You're not going to try to chase down something and burn yourself out. So they're locked in at the mid-29s range. This facility, as I mentioned, once outdoors for many years, and then they decided to put a roof over it. It was once seen as some of the fastest ice in the world. That was before the advent of everyone putting in indoor ovals, and then of course before the likes of Calgary and Salt Lake building theirs at elevation. So Swings' results this year in the 5,000s, 13th and then 14th in Salt Lake and Calgary. He did the B division in the 10,000 meters in Heerenveen, coming in second, and then was 12th in Hamar. But it's the mass start where he earns his keep. He's been right up there all season long, as always. Look at Timothy Lubino. Season he's having. Come down to the last three, 1,200 meters to go as they tick into the 30 seconds. 30.5, and now it looks like Swings is really on the front foot in this pair. You can see the Molly keeping it close. The benefits of that inner lane, but he's bobbing up and down a little bit, not keeping it hugely quiet. 2 laps to go. We'll compare these lap times, and now it's Molly who has the faster lap time, and so really yo-yoing back and forth, these two guys. This time it might be Swings who goes back to the lead. It could all come down to that final crossover in this pair. Should point out, as much as personal bests are not probably a factor in many of the races this weekend, Swings and Molly almost identical. 6:08.57 for Molly, 6:08.76 for Swings. And now Molly gets the arm going, the back arm coming off the back, and so he is just tooth and nail scrapping for every single 100th of a second. Never mind the aerodynamics, he is just trying to keep those legs ticking over. Felix Molly will take the pair, and a good final lap, 30.12. He brought it back down, and Swings 6:16.26, 6:16.74 for these two. Michele Malfatti, Alexander Farthofer, Italy and Austria.
And on the outer lane, representing Austria, we have their national record holder, Alexander Farthofer. Go to the start.
Underway. Farthofer and Malfatti. Malfatti, okay, who we've seen do mass starts before. He is really just focusing on the distances. Let's just run through what he's done this season. 9th and 8th the first 2 weekends in North America in the 5,000 meters. 9th in the 10K in Heerenveen, and 15th right before the break in Hamar. Farthofer was on the list for the 1500 yesterday. He was actually disqualified from that, from the 1500. Here's another one we might see in mass start. He's done some B division mass starts this season. A lot of 11th places in mass starts, 1500s, 5000s. Still just 20 years of age. The man from Virgil, which is in the eastern part of Austria, just west of Innsbruck. Another one of those skaters who started in inline. Speed skating on ice was his cross training, and then just kind of made the switch. He had wins in 2025 at the junior and the neo-senior level in the 1500s. And to start off the year, he did the 5K in the B division and won it in Salt Lake City. And he is using every single centimeter of that lane. Big, wide strides to get him set up for the corner. And he's going 28.83, so quick starts from both of these. Fati skated at the Beijing Olympics. He was 15th in the 5,000 meters in Beijing, 9th in the 10,000 meters, but didn't get out of the semifinals in mass start. I'll mention it tomorrow, but mass start, the Olympics, there are the semifinals. It's not just one straight up A final, which adds an extra wrinkle to the event. Fati won't be far from home. Trento, in northern Italy, living in Sant'Orsola Terme. Fraunhofer still going under 29s, and so this is one that we've seen, one of the first ones we've seen going consistently under 29, really since the first pair, or since Vladimir Semiruni went. Side is still Farthofer. And Malfatti dips into the 28s. So both of these guys are feeling it nicely right now. 28s, 29s. Semiruni stayed 28s all the way until lap number 10. And we have just gone through 7. They're in the ballpark anyway. And then almost identical. 29.43, 29.44. This is quite the well-drawn-up pair. Farthofer's personal best, 6:04.21, 6:08.13 for Malfatti, but on this ice surface, they seem to be pretty even. Black boot, one white boot for Malfatti. Now he starts to shift as Farthofer dips into the 30-second range. A look down at the legs perhaps as the pain really starts to settle in as we're into the back half of this race. Malfatti really coming onto the front foot, 3 to go. He's still a 29.5. Farthofer now lapping into the 30s, and so this one appears to be Michele Malfatti's to lose. Mouth agape though, the pain surely settling in, his mouth silently screaming what his muscles are undoubtedly doing as well. There is a big, big change in their speed. Malfatti still 29.6. Farthofer, yeah, the elastic is really snapped now into the 31.5s. Close to 31.5 anyway. Currently, Michele Malfatti has a 5.6 second lead, a 29.8, or pardon me, Vladimir Semiruni has a 5.6 second lead on second place. Malfatti, so he has 2.7 seconds to work with. And the agony that Farthofer must be feeling right now. Good start, but just not able to keep that speed up for long, and just the agony is set in now. Malfatti looking like it's position number 2 for him, And that is the case. 6:10.53, consistently under 30 seconds, so nicely done. Michele Malfatti.
Final time for Barhofer, Austria. He will cross the line in the final time.
Barthofer, the young man, 20 years of age, will go down undoubtedly as a learning experience that really burned the legs. It was a great start for him, though, but consistency is something that often, I wouldn't say all the time, often comes with age. But Malfatti sitting in second now with the final 4 pairs.
Coming up next, in pair 5 on the inner lane, representing the Netherlands, please welcome Chris Heisenhoff.
A pair of Dutch skaters. He just heard Chris Huizinga and Jorrit Bergsma, a great veteran in the Netherlands. So, Huizinga will, on the inner lane, he will be skating for the Netherlands in the 5,000 meters at the Olympics. He will be joined by Stan van de Boont and Marcel Bosker. Van de Boont had this, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, Dutch qualifying tournament, but man alive, was he something else. He's in the 5,000, the 10K, and the mass start. Jorrit Bergsma will do the 5K and the mass start. Bergsma almost belatedly getting into mass start, now kind of making it his own as a great skater in his own right. Just the depth. The depth of this Dutch program. So many people who on their day can come out victorious. And at the moment, both going pretty evenly paced right now. It is Chris Huizinga in the high 28s, Bergsma in the low 29s on that lap time. Huizinga not on the podium on World Cup this season, but he did win the last World Cup in the 5,000 meters last season in Heerenveen. As results this year, 5th and 5th in the North American stops, 8th in the 10,000 meters in Heerenveen, and 10th in the last 5,000 meters in Hamar. He's now lapping low 29s. It's about 0.8 of a second off the pace set by Vladimir Semirouni. Huizinga is from Groningen. He is just at a 29.28. Bergsma, it's not like he's lapping that much quicker, maybe a couple tenths of a second, but those tenths of a second pile up and pile up. Bergsma did come out on top in Hamar. And at the last World Cup stop, finishing in 6th. He also has a mass start win in Heerenveen. And a couple other results in the top 10. Various different distances. At the moment now, Chris Huizinga, 29.46. Is Ted Jan Blumen, great Canadian, getting ready. Checking here at the Dutch qualifying tournament in the 5,000 meters. As I mentioned, Stan van de Boont winning it. Huizinga second, Marcel Bosker was third, Bergsma was fourth. And so Huizinga won that one by about 2.2 seconds at the moment, and it's about 2.04, but the lap time's getting closer and closer together. Bergsma is stemming the bleeding a little bit. Both of these guys, though, are well raced. Housing a 29.35. Bergsma, pardon me, a 29.63. And so again, just a few tenths of a second going out. Housing will now get into the inner lane. Next pair has Davide Giotto and Timothy Lubino still to come. 3 to go, another 29.5 for Housing, a 29.7 as both of them slip back a little bit. Housing 3.5 seconds down, sitting in 4th right now. So much shifts in those final few laps of the race. Semi Rooney in front right now. He has 2.72 seconds on Michele Malfatti. Pain becoming more evident for Jorrit Bergsma. Right now it's 3 to go. Another 29.5. And Bergsma dips into the 30-second range. And so causing it's looking like this will be his pair, barring the unforeseen. And of course, the unforeseen does happen. But he is looking very composed. He's not showing any strain. If it's there, he's not showing it. He's still very smooth. 29.74. And another 30 seconds for Bergsma on that last lap. I'm just looking for movement, arms coming apart, standing up a little bit more, but he's staying low, staying compact, arms on the back. He's found his rhythm. And now 1 to go. And a 29.84 for Chris Kausinger. Just taking a quick look. In 3rd place right now, Fridtjof Petzold is 5.62 seconds back of Vladimir Semi-Rooney. So at this pace, at this rate, it will be 3rd place provisionally for Chris Kausinger. Go. First time, 30 seconds. He will go 3rd. 6:12.27. Bergsma does close it down a little bit that last lap. Gets up to 6:15.37. Anyway. So Bergsma 6:15.34 gets him up into 7th. And into our final 3 pairs. This one could be a good one. The track record holder, the world record holder, Davide Giotto and Timothy Lubino. Lubino, as I mentioned, smashed that world record in Salt Lake City at the start of the season. To really stake a claim that, hey, I'm more than just a mass start specialist. Giotto was on the podium in the 10,000 meters in Heerenveen this season, but his 5,000 results just have not quite matched it. 6th in Salt Lake, 6th in Calgary, 7th in Hamar. But again, the Olympics, and as a host athlete in the Olympics, you get that extra push. And there's talking about those great stories that happen from host skaters. Giotto from Altavia Vicentina. He turns 33 in December, just turned 32, the bronze medalist in the 10,000 meters. But Lubino, just such an interesting story. From Arcachon, which is in the Gironde region, think Bordeaux, so kind of southwestern France. Another one of the many skaters who started in roller skating, switched up, and was coached by former French international Alexis Quentin. And that was, they started doing it in Berlin, and he trains in Germany largely because France doesn't have an indoor oval. And I talked about it earlier that it's going to be the big mystery of 2030. Where will it be? Will it be Torino? Will it be Heerenveen? They're coming up with some ideas. But yeah, the Albertville Oval from the 92 games was outside. And so his win in mass start in November 2024 in Nagano was the first French World Cup victory since Alexis Quentin won an event back in 2015. And so Lubino will be one to watch. The 5,000 meters in Milan goes February 8th. The Milano Cortina Games getting underway in just under 2 weeks' time now. But it's Davide Giotto leading the way right now. And I mentioned this is the time of the training block where skaters are probably tapering if they're looking to peak in time for an Olympics. But Giotto, 28.5, and a few hundredths of a second quicker goes Timothy Lubino. Both of them in the green. I would say now that Vladimir Semiruni's time is in jeopardy. But who's it going to be? Giotto, of course, a 10,000 meter master. And you would think that in the second half of the race, he would be able to maintain his consistency. But we also have the world record holder here in Timothy Lubino. And now we are into the second half of the race. An almost identical lap time again. Giotto just a few hundredths of a second slower than Lubino, but if he's losing that much time lap by lap, he'll be okay with that because he's banked a good amount of time. With 2,000 meters to go, we'll check this one, 28.87. Another almost identical lap time. It's just Giotto threw down a couple early laps, and now he is just maintaining the same time or similar time as Lubino is there. Now we get the live split. And perhaps fading away a little bit. You see him losing a couple of tenths of a second as Lubino starts to claw them back. Interesting. There you go. There's a shift now with Lubino knocking out a couple tenths of a second. Lubino very much the leader of this nascent French program. Post-Olympic Games always start the build at least 4 years before, and so we see it with their short track side, we see it with their long track side, building to perform. Yes, in Milano Cortina, but also when they host it in 4 years' time. 3 to go. And now Lubino is putting in his shift. He has a second back to close. And he's knocking out a couple tenths of a second a lap. Lubino in the ascendancy right now. 2 pairs to come after this one. Ted-Jan Blumen and Casey Dawson in a battle of North America up next. And then Metode Ilek and Zonder Eitrem. 2 to go. Giotto still leads as Lubino dips into the 29s for the first time. He's pulled, he's lost another couple tenths of a second. Lubino has the bit between the teeth now. There is the rabbit to chase up in front of him. And as they come around, now it's side by side. Identical times. What a pair this is. Timothy Lubino and Davide Giotto, almost, it's pretty much a second difference there. And now you would have to bet Lubino to keep this going as Giotto fades a little bit. And yeah, he's coming apart. You see him bobbing a little bit. Lubino much more stable. And now we'll check for the track record. Mike Giotto's track record be in danger. 6:04.52 is the time to beat for that track record. And yes, 6:03.65. Lubino with the track record. First place goes without saying. Gyoto into second. Gracious as he sees his track record go by the wayside. He had it for a while there. But Lubino sits in first, will be on the podium here in the 5,000 meters, and you'd have to start thinking in a race where there's so many different skaters who can get onto the podium. Lubino, always love his passion. Never shy to let you know what he's thinking. And Kyoto, you love it. You absolutely love it in this sport. They see each other so often. Now 2 to go. Blumen and Casey Dawson. As this one gets underway, I haven't even really mentioned Casey Dawson. Speaking of people who could win on their day, well, he won gold in Calgary in the 5,000 meters, set a track record at the same time. This is actually his first time racing at Inzell, so a new rink for him. We'll see how he goes, and you look for little nuggets, maybe things that might indicate things down the line, and it will be everybody's first races in Milan. And depending on how Dawson adapts to a new ice surface here, what might that mean for Milano Cortina? Just coming up with some possible scenarios. You never know. But he will also be a member of that U.S. team pursuit side, favored for gold, world record holders as well. And both of them going low 29s in the early going. So Blumen, another one of those skaters who may be down to his final few races. Olympic gold medalist before in 2018. That was in the 10,000 meters. And he was also silver in the 5K, and so can he turn back the hands of time one last go? Ted-Jan Blumen, find that flux capacitor. One thing he does know in these distance events, you know your own body, you know how it reacts, you know how to set a pace. And Casey Dawson dipping into the 28s now. Both of them just a couple of tenths of a second off the pace. Casey Dawson does have a pre-race ritual. He has pancakes on race day. It's been a thing since high school for him, and I wonder if he's in a new place, if he researches where he can get them. Of course, he might just bring them home and, depending on their accommodations, whip some up for himself in the morning. But the 25-year-old from Park City, in my mind, something of maybe an X factor in a couple of weeks. Just one of those guys who, you look at the likes of Yilek, Lubino, Giotto, and what about Casey Dawson? What about him? Just had a great draft down that backstretch on that crossover before tucking into the inner lane, and that's almost just slingshotted him up. As Blumen goes into the 29.60 range, Dawson still 28.79. Lubino not even really paying attention. Might that mean, though, for France to see a guy winning medals internationally and then at an Olympics a couple of years out from hosting a games? Into the second half of the race now. Dawson, now he dips into the 29s. Blumen, he's gone into the 30s, and so very early to dip into the 30s. So this might be a one-man race. A lot of city people, of course. You think Park City, you think skiing, but Dawson's gotten on the blades as we get a look at Ted-Jan Blumen, born in Leiderdorp in the Netherlands. And of course, came up through that program a little bit before opting to move to Canada. And had family history with it. Got his citizenship that way. He and his wife and kids now are fully Albertan, living the life in Calgary. But this race now belongs to Casey Dawson. Into the final four. What's he doing? Back into the 28s. 1.1 seconds off the pace. That is fourth of the skaters who have gone so far, but if he can keep it consistent, pick it up a bit more, this will get to be interesting. Lubino, now a track record holder. How long might it last? Another 28.86 for Casey Dawson. Just looking, Giotto finished just over 2 seconds back of Lubino. So if he keeps this split, Casey Dawson could find himself in second place. Very sharp, very low, arms on the back. And Tedjan Blumen notably well off the pace. 28.74 for Dawson. And he now climbs up a bit into third. At this rate, he will finish up in second. But he is also closing on Lubino. Maybe that was a nervous look at the screen. This will be interesting to see. 1 to go. Dawson. Now he drops back a little bit, a second off the pace, 28.73. Let's just look at the last lap time, exactly 1 second. Lubino's final lap was a 28.2. It is going to be very tough for Casey Dawson to dip into the 27s, but we'll see what happens. Now the pain evident on the face. Dawson on course for second place right now with 1 pair to go, drops the arm, crosses the line, 6:05.13, and so 1.48 off the pace. And a very good race for the American. We'll watch to see if he can get onto the podium. And moving to 14, 6:25.17. Come to the final pair of the afternoon. Evening now. If you're wondering if it could upset the apple cart, yes it could. Methode Yilek and Zonder Eitrem. Underway, European all-around champion Zonder Eitrem has been on the podium in this distance this season. Bronze in Salt Lake, silver in Calgary, did fourth in the 10K in Heerenveen, and then was third in the 5,000 meters in Hamar. Just off the podium yesterday in the 1,500 meters was Zonder Eitrem. But the longer it goes, Eitrem is just warming up. But Yilek is just another one of those young upstarts who's broken onto the scene out of Czechia, out of Prague. And the line is never completely straight. So there's ups and downs, but he's on an up right now, the winner of the last World Cup in Hamar. He doesn't even turn 20 until June, the man from Prague. His 10,000 meters bronze in Hamar at the end of last season at the World Championships. It was the first ever World Championship medal for a Czech man. And yeah, both of them in the green right now. So this is the one where Timothy Lubino might be looking up a little bit more. 2025, Yelek, 5,000 meters and mass start world champion at the junior level. And the 3,000 meters is not an official distance for the men. They do 5 and 10K, but he did a 3,000 meters in Salt Lake City and actually set a world record there. And so all that to say, Methode Yelek, Zonder Eitrem, both of these guys could have the one next to their name when this race is over. Through 1,800 meters, just about side by side. Yelek, a 27.95 lap time. Remember, when you see the green, that is compared to Timothy Lubino's time, and when there's a 2 or a 3, that is at that stage of the race. And so it was actually Davide Giotto who was off in front at that point. So a few things to remember, but these are two guys who will push each other the entire way. And at the moment, Zonder Eitrem leading the way. Methode Yelek, also 5 times World Junior Inline champion. The live splits come up. We could be on pace to seeing the track record fall several times in one afternoon, in a matter of hours, really. But Yelek will be a threat, of course, in the 5,000 and the 10,000. Zonder Eitrem will also be one to watch, of course, in this distance. He is, of course, the world champion. And he is adding to his lead a little bit right now. 28.17 the lap time. The track record might not just fall, it might be smashed this time. 28.1. That is his first time dipping into the 28s. He did it in lap 5. He did it actually early on, did Eitrem. And now 4 to go. 28.05. Lubino keeping his expression neutral, savoring the moment before his track record falls. Lubino did dip into the 29s just once, and that was on lap 11. He never did go into the 27s. And so Zonder Eitrem of Norway, that's all you need to know. You are on a flyer, my friend. 3 to go, 28.09. He is still going almost into the 27s. Lubino's own world record is 6 minutes 23. Lubino's track record here is 6:03.65. Hold on a minute. (28.37). Zonder Eitrem, never mind a track record. What could he be doing here? I was just doing the math and then the graphic came up. World record 6:23. Lubino's track record 6:03.65. Zonder Eitrem could be on pace for a world record. 1 to go, 28.37. Never mind saving it for the Olympics. Zonder Eitrem wants to make a statement right now. His face is not giving anything away. Inside the last 150 meters, now a bit of a grimace. The final strides, the fans at the Max Eicher Arena. No, this could be history. Zonder Eitrem can celebrate a world record. Oh my goodness. The first man to ever go under 6 minutes, and he's also gone under 5:59. 5:58.452. Sander Eitrem has smashed it.
What a day to witness this world record here in Inzell, Germany. What an incredible race by Sander Eitrem.
Now, this isn't Calgary. This isn't Salt Lake. So you don't think it's some of the fastest ice in the world, but in the long distance races, it doesn't matter as much because, of course, when you're at elevation, you do get that bigger glide, but there's also less oxygen. And Sander Eitrem, yeah, he is all of us right now. Wow. Timothy Lubino didn't just see his new track record fall, he saw his world record fall. To capture this moment, bottle it. For the man from Skrea. And he had a chance to celebrate a world record even before he crossed the line. That is spectacular. His hometown of Skrea has just over 1,000 people. Well, it's north of Oslo, but I can say, well, the world hears you now. He doesn't believe it. It's going to take for a moment for that to sink in. There's been some greats in a few weeks' time. Sander Eitrem will look to join the pantheon of his nation's storied program. He's already a world champion in the distance. Now he's a world record holder. Up next in Olympic Games.
Yeah, sure.
There you have it. WR Sander Eitrem. 5:58.52. Metode Yilek got up into second, and Lubino for third. Casey Dawson, Davide Giotto rounding out the top five, but it is Sander Eitrem's moment as he has made a statement heading into Milano Cortina.
What's happened?
I've seen some nice things during my skating life, but that was really awesome.
He still can't believe it.
What's happening?
Take the mental picture, young man. That is an incredible performance. And you always wonder, how long might a world record last?
Congratulations.
Lubino's lasted a matter of months. And Eitrem has just smashed it. Yilek wins the distance standings overall, the 5,000 and the 10,000. Lubino third, Dawson fourth, and Giotto in fifth. And so they will, all three of them, Eitrem, Yilek, and Lubino, get 2 podium presentations. And we will take one final pause. We will do the medal presentations, and then I'll be back for my goodbyes. But what a moment for Sander Eitrem of Norway. The first man just go under 6 minutes, which is, of course, the headline. He also went under 5:59. For a celebration. Who got the sunglasses? Enjoy the moment. I'll be back with you after the medal presentations.
Meine Damen und Herren, wir begrüßen Sie des Eishockey-Cups über die 3000 Meter der Damen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the medal ceremony for the ISU World Cup 2000 meter women. In third place, the bronze medalist representing Canada, Valerie Molte. Medals of the weights to be presented by ISU representatives Tom Oswald and Kenneth Lawrence.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, please. Fine.
Thank you.
Valerie Molte. And second place and silver medalist representing the Netherlands, Joy Bellman.
Congratulations.
Joy Bellman. And first place, gold medalist and new track record holder representing Norway, Ragnar Wiklund.
Det skjønner du fortsatt ikke, ass.
Det var ikke som en...
We'll be doing the women. Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a trophy ceremony for the Irish World Cup overall 3,000 women. In third place, representing the Netherlands, Joy Bellman. Trophy is presented by Irish student representative Mr. Albert Hasselhoff.
Speciale?
Ja.
Die was echt zo gekomen, maar ik had meer overwinningen. Dus
Ja, klopt. Ja, dat is helemaal.
ja, ik weet het.
Dan met de twee gewonnen ook.
Oké, bij deze.
Dat makes sense.
Gefeliciteerd.
Joy Bellman.
First time you get this trophy.
Isabel Whiteman. In first place, representing Norway, Ragnar Rikland.
For the winner, have you won? unbelievable. Okay, we'll be ready.
Go ahead, one more quick piece.
Timothy, you can send that.
Meine Damen und Herren, wir kommen nun zur Siegerehrung als Überraschung über die 5000 Meter der Erde. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the men's ceremony for the ISU Corona 5000 men. In third place in bronze medalist, representing France, Timothy Rubino. Medals along with next to be presented by ISU representative Mr. Albert Hasselhoff and Michael Lawrence. Timothy Rubino. And second place is silver medalist representing Czechia, Metode Jelek.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Metode Jelek. And first place with a new track record, a new world record. From Norway, Sander Eichrecht.
Really. It's so unbelievable. Congratulations. You know this program because it's a world record. You also
love the
get
ring.
this ring. And again, enjoy this this day.
Thank you.
Special.
Congratulations. Thank you so
Rebecca,
much.
the present for him. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Shit.
Two presents here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your new world record holder, first time under 6 minutes, Sander Eichrecht. Congratulations to the ISU World Cup winners for the 5,000 meter men. Herzlichen Glückwunsch an das ISU World Cup für die 5000 Meter der Erde und natürlich an den Weltrekordhalter.
standings in the end for the distances. That's the combination of the 5,000 and the 10,000 meters. But Metode Jilek, the young man from Czechia, coming out on top. But all part of a very deep distances field, which will be exciting to watch in the coming weeks. And so that wraps up the racing and the formal presentations for the day. How can tomorrow beat today? Well, we'll soon find out. I will be with you tomorrow morning to
You have an incredible team. You have such a good team here from Norway, incredible coaches.